Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rebecca Rice and I teach family photographers how to gain a life of financial freedom through a thriving photography business. Today, we're going to be diving into when to start advertising your mini sessions to make sure that they get fully booked and are bringing in the most revenue that you can. So let's jump in. If you haven't already, don't forget to like this video so that other photographers like you are able to find it easier, and hit that subscribe button so that you can get notified every single week when new videos go live here on our channel. Now, before we get into, advertising, when to advertise mini sessions, all the things, I wanted to let you know about a free guide that I have for you guys all about mini sessions. So it's a blueprint that walks you through how to make your first $3,000 on a single date of mini sessions. So maybe you've never done minis before and that sounds good to you, or you have tried minis and have never made more than $3,000 in like a 2 to 3 hour time block. Then this blueprint is for you. So you can grab it below. It's called the 3K Minis Blueprint. It's in the description and it's completely free. So you can download that today. Okay. Talking about advertising mini sessions, this is one of the things that I see is like one of the biggest mistakes that photographers make when it comes to their minis is they just don't give themselves enough time to advertise. A lot of times I'll see them say, hey, I'm wanting to do minis in 2 weeks. How do I go about it? I'm like, 2 weeks, you're already, behind the curve. My biggest suggestion is to start advertising your minis about 4 to 6 weeks out. That way it gives you plenty of time to do all the things that go into marketing well, because that's what it comes down to is you want to make sure you're getting in front of enough eyeballs so that people are booking, and it just comes down to your marketing. So in that 4 to 6 weeks, some things to consider is I always start with my VIP email list. So that I call it my VIP email list because who doesn't want to be a VIP? Basically, it's just my email list that consists of past clients or people that have opted into my email list, maybe from my website or things like that. So I have this email list, and those are the people that get priority access to all my bookings. So I know when I'm going to start like fall minis, for example, I advertise to my email list first because they're the VIPs. They already like me, know me, and trust me. And so they are most likely to book with me. They are my warmest leads. So I always start there, and I usually give them anywhere from like 48 hours to sometimes a week to book their session. It just kind of depends on what I'm feeling. But always start with them first, and I tell them, hey, you have until this point, and then I'm going to be going public with this. And so if you want to secure your spot, you're a VIP, I'm giving you priority access, now's the time to book, so that when I go public, you already have your spot secured. And I let them know, these minis will book out, so make sure and get your spot. So I always start with my VIPs. Then from there, after, whatever deadline I've given, whether it's 48 hours or 5 days or whatever, after that time period happens, then I go public with my bookings. And so I will, of course, share to my Facebook page and my Instagram page. But please know that if that's all you're doing for marketing, it's not enough. You have to get in front of an audience that does not already follow you. So some great ways to do that would be sharing in local Facebook groups. If you're a mom groups are everywhere. And a lot of them will let you advertise in them, maybe like one time on a specific day a week or something like that. You have to check the rules. Some don't allow advertising, so play by the rules. But Facebook groups are a really great way to get in front of an audience that does not currently follow you. You could also think about partnering with local businesses. So think like hair and makeup artists or boutiques, or even like preschools, pediatricians' offices, things like that, where there's lots of families that come through. So you can find something that's mutually beneficial for you and the other business. And maybe you're like providing headshots for them or something like that in exchange for them sharing your mini sessions with their people. So you're then getting in front of their audience that does not currently follow you. And another really great way to get in front of that larger audience is using Facebook ads. So If you don't know how to use Facebook ads, I really suggest like diving in and getting some education for how to do them before starting, because if you don't, that's a great way to just like waste money, and you don't want to do that. So you want to make sure you know what you're doing. I do have a Facebook ads mini course in my shop if you want to check that out, that will walk you through everything you need to know to be able to set up and run ads successfully. But Facebook ads are a great way to get in front of a larger audience that does not follow you so that you can book out the rest of your sessions. So all of that happens in that 4 to 6 week time period. And that is, before your mini sessions happen. Now, some things to consider that need to happen before that 4 to 6 weeks would be to get, number one, promo shots. So if you're doing a setup or you're shooting at a new location or anything like that, you want to make sure you get shots that you can use for advertising that have a real family in them. That's a kicker, because you don't want to just get a shot of the setup. You're going to be a lot more successful in your advertising if people see a real family in them, because for one, it gives you credibility that you've worked with other clients, but two, it allows your potential clients to see themselves in your photos so that it's easier for them to book with you. So you really want to make sure that you get promo shots. Another thing you're going to want to do before you start advertising is to prep any like workflows or automations that you're planning on using. I use Dubsado for my CRM, and if you want to check it out, I have a 20% off discount code in the description here. But Dubsado is my CRM, and they have really great automations. So I prep that ahead of time so that when my client books, I have it set up so they automatically get their contract, their invoice, they get a client experience guide, a little bit after, and then later they get a questionnaire so that I can serve them better. They get their final info email a week before the session so that I can answer any questions that they may have before they ever have to ask it. So I'm serving my clients super well with this series of automated emails that are set up one time in Dubsado, and then I don't have to think about it. So I set all that up before I start advertising. That way it's a really, really smooth once I do start advertising. And all of those things that I mentioned, the client experience guide, the contract, the questionnaire, the final info email, I've got templates for all of those available in my shop. So you can go grab them. It's like copy and paste, literally just put in your own information and, or like your business information. The bulk of it's already written. So you can just use that and throw in your own pictures and stuff. That way it helps like speed up the process, hopefully. And then another thing you may want to consider doing before you start advertising is to write those emails that you're planning on sending your VIP email list. Write them ahead of time. That way, all you have to do is hit send, and it's so much easier and everything just runs smoothly. So I always suggest sending several emails. Don't just send one, but do it for several days in a row. Change up the email copy, of course, but that way if somebody misses the first email or the second one, then maybe they catch the third one. And it's not being spammy, it's just serving them well to make sure that they don't miss their chance to book before you go public. So you can prepare all of that before you start advertising. Now, if that like stresses you out of trying to like think out the timeline of like, okay, so I need to do this 4 to 6 weeks, but then I've got to do this stuff beforehand. I feel you. I do have, last thing I'm going to mention in my shop, I don't know, I just have a lot of helpful tips for this. But in my shop, I've got what's called a mini sessions playbook that walks you through step by step everything you need to be doing. I think it starts with like 9 weeks out. And it'll say, okay, at this time, you should be getting promo shots, you should be prepping emails or whatever. And it's just like a checklist that you do every week leading up to your mini sessions and even a couple weeks after. So if you are like a more visual person or you want to know exactly what to be doing every step of the way, that playbook is probably for you. Okay, so there you have it. If you have any questions about advertising your minis or when to start doing stuff, feel free to comment them here below, and I would love to come through and answer them. I just love talking about mini sessions and serving photographers however way I can. So comment your questions and I would love to help. That's all I have for you today, you guys. So be sure to check out the past videos that I've made, and I'll have a new video for you here next week on the channel. See you then. Bye.